Professor Kukral here. I want to talk to you guys about religion a little bit. And that's always a crazy topic to talk about, but when we talk about it in geography, it's a little bit different than discussing God and the Bible and other things. So we're going to talk about religion. I was thinking about a good place to go, and I'm heading upriver here, up the Nehalem River, see if it's open, the road's further up, and we'll get down to the river where the falls are, the Nehalem Falls, and I think it might be a good little spot to talk about religion. So I got to keep an eye on the road up here. Sometimes it's closed, sometimes it's open. We'll find out. So I'll see you in a bit. We're almost there. A few more miles, and then we'll talk about some stuff. Colors aren't here yet, and I think they're nicer in the Midwest actually, because in the Midwest we have all the maple trees and a lot of trees that really turn beautiful. Here there are different kinds of conifers and firs and pines and other stuff that just doesn't quite have the color that you're going to see back home in the Midwest. A few more miles. On the trees. Well, here we are at Nehalem Falls. This is the Nehalem River, and I think this is a good place to talk about religion. You know, we find religion in different places, and I like to think I find it sometimes more in nature than anywhere else when I'm in places like this. So, let me move down a little closer to the water here. All right. This is a good swimming hole, it looks like, too. And you know what we have over here on the right? That's a salmon ladder to help salmon migrate upstream for laying eggs and breeding. Oh wow, well, getting back to religion, find me, there I am. Well, you know, if we talk about religion in Europe, we're basically talking about the study of Christianity, the growth of Christianity, the spread or diffusion of Christianity, and the decline of Christianity in much of Europe, or what might be called secularization in Europe. Those are the things we're going to learn about from your readings, okay? And also the fragmentation of Christianity would help shape the different cultures of Europe. Okay? So let me just hold on a second here. Okay, maybe that's a little better. My pants are getting wet sitting here. I was not in a good spot. So, in your readings, which are going to go into a lot more detail than I can do about religion, we're going to look at how Christianity, which started, of course, in the Middle East, like Islam and Judaism, how it spread into Europe. It took 1,000 years. It's a very slow diffusion. It took 1,000 years to spread into Europe, across Europe. Okay? And you can see the impacts that the Irish and others had on the diffusion of ideas and learning, and how Christianity helped unify Europe in many ways. So you'll see that in the readings. What happened in Europe during the first 1,000 years, where Christianity was really mostly organized in the East. Constantinople, Istanbul, those were the big cities of Christianity, right? That's where the power was centered the first 1,000 years. When we look at what happened to Christianity, bringing people together in Europe, we see it also divided people. We see the Great Schism of 1085, where the church split, the one Christian church, and it split into the Eastern Orthodox Church and the Western Church, which later became the Roman Catholic or Universal Church. And then a couple hundred years later, 300 or 400 years later, we started to have people wanting to reform the church. People like John Hus, people like Martin Luther, and we start to have reformers that lead to a Reformation. The Reformation would divide the church into many denominations, and it would divide the cultures of Europe as well. Okay, the idea of separation in church and state is a modern one. That's not something to think about when we think about the history of Europe. Okay, church and state were one for most of its history. So, let's think about how that is different than, say, the United States. If we look at the United States, think about your hometown, whatever that is. How many different churches are there? Probably a whole bunch in any little town. How many churches are there in Terre Haute? What are they all? All kinds of different denominations of Christianity, right? If you go to an Irish village in Ireland, you'll probably find one or two churches. Most likely they'll both be Roman Catholic churches. And that's something that unified people in villages. The church was a central unifying factor. In America, the churches became somewhat divisive or separated people, you could, in many ways. What was our common denominator in the American small town? It was the public school. We all went to the public schools, and that's what brought us together. We didn't all go to the same church, but we all went to the same public school for the most part, and that brought a lot of people together. So Europe developed differently, it's different cultures. Remember talking about climates of Europe. And I said there's three big ones, right? There's the maritime climate, there's the continental climate, and there's the Mediterranean climate. There's three big mountain systems of Europe. The Alpine mountain system, for one. The Carpathian mountains and the southern mountain groups. There's three big mountain systems. Well, in Europe, there's three big divisions of Christianity historically as well that have shaped the culture. The Eastern Orthodox, the Roman Catholic, and the Protestants. Those three big divisions, and they're very geographical. So I want you to think about where they're at. I want you to think about if there's a relationship to languages on the map of Europe, language families. Think about the Slavic languages, the Germanic languages, and the Romance languages. Are they connected in any ways to the divisions of Christianity? Okay? So as you do the readings, keep in mind everything from the past. Keep in mind each chapter we've already read. I want you to do that. I want you to not, okay, we're done with chapter 1, chapter 2, let's move on. No, but think how they overlap and think about the connection spatially, if that works out, okay? as I'm trying to appreciate where I'm standing up here. Well, anyways, yeah, we all find religion in different places. And another thing to remember about Europe is that we're going to see great areas of secularization, which in some ways means a decline in religious activities, or in other ways it means that religion has been removed from public life in many cases. But it's very different than the United States, the role of religion in Europe. There are some countries where people are very devout and church attendance is very high, like Poland, like Ireland still, parts of Italy. But there's many areas where church attendance as a measure of religion is extremely low in Europe compared to the United States. And there are some major differences. So I'm going to sign out for now. I hope you enjoyed these views of Nehalem Falls. They're more like a rapid than a falls. I don't see any salmon jumping yet. It's a little early, but I think I'm gonna go for now. Okay, it's been a nice day out here for a change from all these fires we've had and smoke. It's good to get outside here a bit. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.